Hi guys, and welcome to Premier League Prediction Week 9. We're back off the international break and back to the Premier League. And our 12:45 kick-off for tomorrow is Tottenham versus Liverpool. This will be Klopp's first game in charge for Liverpool. Obviously the sacking of Brendan Rodgers just before the international break. He got sacked a couple of hours later after the Everton Liverpool game, which it's not nice to see. Managers getting sacked. So we wish him the best of luck to where he goes in the future. And I also like to give my best of luck to Klopp as well, and see where he can take Liverpool. I think he's been waiting a long time to get into the Premier League, so let's see what he can do now with a bit of money and a fairly decent squad as well. So starting at the 12:45 game tomorrow, I think that Klopp will get off to a good start. I think he'll get a point at White Hart Lane because I've gone Spurs 1, Liverpool 1. Then we move to the 3 o'clock kickoffs, which is first quite a bit of a London derby. We have Crystal Palace versus West Ham, and due to recent form of Crystal Palace at the moment, I mean they're getting really high standards at the moment and getting praised quite a lot. There's even talks of is it Alan Pardew? Sorry, is it Alan Pardew? Of course it's Alan Pardew. Alan Pardew being the New England manager for the foreseeable future as well. So they're having really high expectations at the moment. Crystal Palace, they're doing really well, and I think that will continue tomorrow because I've gone Crystal Palace 2, West Ham 1. And I remember when I tipped at the start of the season, I tipped Swansea to be in Europe, but I'll tell you something now, Crystal Palace could definitely be up there. I know that Ian Wright's definitely tipped them as well to be in Europe this year, so if they keep playing the way they do, they can definitely get in Europe. I think Ian Wright got a bit carried away before the international break, saying that there could be a top 4 team, like finish 4th. I don't think they're quite good yet. They're that good yet, but for the foreseeable future, who knows? Then we move on to Manchester City versus Bournemouth. Obviously, Manchester City has lost Aguero and David Silva during the international break. But as I say, Bournemouth are a quite attacking team, and even with the talent that Manchester City's got, I still expect them at home as well to probably see off Bournemouth. So I've gone Man City 3, Bournemouth 0. Never actually known an Everton Man U game kicking off at 3 o'clock, so I was quite surprised when I was writing these down. I saw that this was 3 o'clock. It's always been like 12 o'clock on a Sunday or 1:30, 4:15, stuff like that. I've never known it to be a 3 o'clock kickoff, but we'll see how that one goes. As for the results wise, obviously Everton got you'd always take a point going into a derby, and they took the point against Liverpool just before the international break. So that would be a good way to finish, just going into the international break. As for Manchester United, they left the international break with a terrible result, losing 3-0 to Arsenal. I think they were like 3-0 down in 20 minutes, something like that. And but they're usually quite tight, the Everton Man U games. So I've gone Everton 1, Man U 1. I think Man U will want to bounce back, and they'll definitely take a point going into Goodison Park as well. So we'll see how that one goes. Then I've gone for quite a tight game again, West Brom versus Sunderland. And being at home, I'd expect West Brom to just about see this through. So I've gone West Brom 1, Sunderland 0. Then we've got quite a tasty game. We have Southampton versus Leicester. Again, Southampton got that fantastic result at Stamford Bridge just before the international break. There was a lot of teams that got off to a good finish on a flyer actually just before the international break. And going to Stamford Bridge for Southampton would have been one of them. And especially to come a goal down as well. And they could have had 2 penalty shouts to get it right. I mean, Jose Mourinho moaned about big decisions not going his way, but when asked about the question of Southampton, he said he didn't want to comment. So I will comment, and I will say that Southampton definitely deserved 2 penalty shouts, and they really deserved to win that game. I thought in the end, they absolutely outplayed Chelsea, and I think Chelsea need to sort themselves out. But going back to Southampton for a sec, against Leicester tomorrow, who can be quite attacking, but again I've gone for the home form, so I've gone Southampton 2, Leicester 1. Then I move on to Chelsea Villa now, which is and going back to that game with the decisions and that, and I get that feeling that there's something not quite going right at Chelsea at the moment. They haven't looked right in pre-season. They haven't really won that many games this year. I think they've won 2. which was West Bromwich Albion and against Arsenal, obviously. And even then, I don't really want to go into that story and that, but I think we all know the reason why they probably did beat Arsenal was because they were down to 10 men and then 9 men and all that. I'm not saying that Chelsea wouldn't have won that game, but I think that Arsenal were coping with them quite well all the way up to that, all the way up to the sending off. And then obviously it's always hard, you know, to go 10 men down, especially against a team like Chelsea. But so apart from that, and I don't think they looked too great against West Bromwich Albion when they won either. I just don't think they've looked their best at all this year, Chelsea. But then again, but now I move on to Aston Villa, and I don't think they've looked too good either. I mean, I've given them a bit of slack the last couple of weeks, you know, saying that they're still getting their transfers and that, you know, still gelling as a team. But I think now after the international break, they need to start getting the run of forms together, or Tim Sherwood's job will be on the line. I think it's safe for now. I think he was told that he's got 2 games, but that's been scrapped now, as far as I'm aware. But again, being at Stamford Bridge tomorrow, Aston Villa, it's the same. It's the same with Chelsea. I can't expect anything more than Chelsea to get some points on the board now. So I've gone Chelsea 2, Aston Villa 0. But you know, we'll see how that one goes because I'm not sure with Chelsea at the moment. Then we have the 5:30 kickoff, which is Watford versus Arsenal. Watford do not concede a lot of goals this season, especially at home. But then I look back at Arsenal, you know, would that got their season going, you know, beating Manchester United 3-0. But then I'm starting to think, you know, will Bayern Munich be in their thoughts for the Tuesday night game in the Champions League? Technically, you shouldn't really think like that. You know, you should take every game as important as possible. But I think that Arsenal should just about scrape this, you know, having the talent that we've got. So I've gone Watford 0, Arsenal 1. Then we have Newcastle, this is the Sunday games now, and we have Newcastle versus Norwich. And again, you'd say that Newcastle need to start getting some points on the board too. You know, you need to start getting the string forms together. But Norwich is nowhere near going to be easy. An easy game to start your runs of going. And in fact, I've even gone for them to lose because I've gone Newcastle 1, Norwich 2. I just think that Norwich have a lot of class at the moment. They're getting a lot of good form. They're playing a lot of good football, and the confidence will be up there. And I think that they can go to St James's Park and they can get the 3 points. So we'll see how that one ends up. And last game, which is the Monday night, which is Swansea versus Stoke. And again, Stoke not been at their best this season. Swansea, they've had a bit of a mixture. They played well some weeks, and in other weeks you like, or didn't expect that, like the Southampton game, if you like, and they lost 3-1. But being at home and against Stoke, I've gone Swansea 2, Stoke City 0. It should be a very interesting weekend this weekend. It usually is, you know, when people come back off the international break. And sometimes you have injuries like Manchester City. I'm not sure if Arsenal picked up any injuries or Manchester United. I think Liverpool picked up some injuries with Danny Ings, and I can't remember who the other one was. But they've picked up 2 injuries as well. So that's what I mean. It's always quite interesting to see how people bounce back just after the international break. But it's going to be quite a fun and interesting weekend. Thank you for watching this video, guys. If you do like it, please give it a thumbs up. Comment in the comment section below what you think the predictions will be. And I will see you next week for next week's prediction. Thank you for watching, guys.